I don't think so, John. I mean, I don't recall anything different than in our discussions that we had with the president, that he said things quite similar publicly. So I didn't read the book. I didn't really go over any of the text since it just came out. But, when in my discussions and the discussions of other task force members with the president, we're talking about the reality of what was going on. And then when we would get up in front of the press conferences, which were very, very common after our discussions with the president, he really didn't say anything different than we discussed when we were with him. So I may not be tuned in to the right thing that they're talking about, but I didn't really see any discrepancies between what he told us and what we told him and what he ultimately came out publicly and said.
So did you get a sense that he was or wasn't playing this down?
No, I didn't. I didn't get any sense that he was distorting anything. I mean, in my discussions with him, they were always straightforward about the concerns that we had. We related that to him. And when he would go out and I'd hear him discussing the same sort of things, he would often say, we just got through with a briefing with the group from the task force, and would talk about it. So, no, it may have happened, but I have not seen that kind of distortion.
So back in February, according to the Woodward book, the National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien went in with his deputy Matt Pottinger and said, this is the most serious crisis that you're going to face, at least in the immediate future, because this thing is really bad. The president seemed to acknowledge that it was really bad, but then we saw him come out and say it's going to magically go away. It's no more serious than the flu. I mean, the conversations, I know there's probably not a lot of things you can tell us about the conversations with the task force and the president, but was it your sense that this was very serious, but that the public messaging was a little bit different?
John, I really am hesitant to comment on that, because I don't know in what context we're asking that question. I mean, obviously, when we would be speaking to the president, we talk about the cold facts. He would get them. Often he would want to, make sure that the country doesn't get down and out about things. But I don't recall anything that was any gross distortion in things that I spoke to him about.
All right. So you were comfortable.
I don't think he ever distorted things that I spoke to him about.
Mm-hmm. So you were comfortable with the way that he was delivering the information that was discussed in the task force to the public?
Yeah, but remember, I'm a small frame in the big picture of what goes on. But, I would go in, Dr. Birx and I and Dr. Redfield, we would talk to him about the things that were going on out there. And then we would get up. I know you were in the audience often. We would get up and go in front of the cameras and talk a little bit about what the discussions were. And within that context, John, I don't think he said much different than what we said when we were in the Oval Office.